Hi everybody, today I am at a very unique city, possibly the only one in the world. Here, not one, not two, but three major rivers actually come together, they flow together. This is the city of Passau in Eastern Bavaria, Germany, not very far from the Austrian border, and also in this direction, a little further, is the border with Czechia, or as it used to be known, the Czech Republic. At this point, right here, the three river point, the Dreiflusseck, three rivers come together. Right above my left shoulder, behind the boat, comes down, flows in the Ilz River from north, from the direction of the Bavarian Forest National Park. Behind you is the river Inn that comes all the way from the Swiss Alps, about 500 kilometers, and right into this corner. And here from my right flows the very famous and second largest and second longest river in Europe, the Danube. These three rivers have an interesting aspect. They flow in three different colors. The Ilz River that flows from the north has a very dark brown or almost black color due to the minerals it carries. Behind you, the river Inn that comes all the way from the Swiss Alps, due to the water from the glaciers and the snow, has a light green color. And the Danube is of course very famous for its dark blue color. When you look from above, from the air, you can actually see these three colors very distinctly. And then they come at this corner, Dreiflusseck, they all join together. At this point, River Inn is actually a larger river than the Danube, but it is not as long as the Danube at this point. And because of that, it loses its name and ends here, and they all become the Danube. Now, the river Danube has one more record. It holds the record for the river that runs through the most countries. The river Danube is born here in Schwarzwald, the Black Forest region in Germany, in Western Germany, and until it flows into the Black Sea, it runs through 10 different countries. It goes through 4 state capitals. It flows through Budapest, the capital of Hungary. It flows through Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia, and it flows through Vienna, the capital of Austria. Because of its strategic and economic importance throughout European history, it was the site of so many battles here along the river Danube. But today I would like to tell you not about the battles, but about a piece of music. Because Danube was not only site of battles, but also inspired poets, musicians. One of these artists was the Viennese composer Johann Strauss II, also known as Johann Strauss Jr., or the Younger, or the Son. His father, Johann Strauss I, and his brothers Joseph and Eduard were all also composers of light music in Vienna. Johann Strauss II is mostly known for his operettas and dance music. His most famous operettas are Die Fledermaus, The Bat, and Der Zigeuner Baron, The Gypsy Baron. He composed over 500 waltzes, polkas, and other dance music, among them probably the best known, the most beloved waltz ever composed, the beautiful Blue Danube Waltz, or in German, An der Schönen Blauen Donau. The waltz was composed in 1866 to lift the spirit of the Viennese society immediately after the Austro-Prussian War, which the Austrian Empire had lost. In its original version with the Vienna Men's Choral Association, it was premiered on February 15, 1867. The waltz received only one encore at this concert, which apparently in Strauss's terms was a flop. Strauss arranged the waltz without choir and added more music the same year for the Paris World's Fair in 1867, and in this form it became a great success. This orchestral version was also premiered in New York and London the same year, also with great success. There is a very famous anecdote about the piece. It's known that German composer Johann Brahms, one of the greatest figures of music of the second part of the 19th century, often declared that he would have given much to have been the composer of Strauss's Blue Danube Waltz. It's told that the wife of Johann Strauss once asked Brahms for his autograph to put on her fan. He immediately complied with her request, writing the opening measures of the Blue Danube Waltz, and wrote under it, "Not, alas, by Johannes Brahms." The work begins with an introduction with shimmering violins. Then the horn announces the familiar waltz theme. This introduction rises briefly into a loud passage, but quickly dies down into the same restful nature of the opening. A contrasting and quick phrase in D major anticipates the waltz before three quiet, downward-moving bass notes usher in the principal waltz melody. There is a total of 5 different waltz themes, all but one in different tonalities or keys. Or waltz themes are in 2 parts and each section is always repeated. The first waltz theme is a familiar, gently rising triadic motif played by cellos and horns. It is accompanied by the harp. In the second part of this first waltz theme, overall genial mood continues. The second waltz theme glides in quietly, still in the same key of D major. It's followed by a short contrasting middle section in B flat major, and the entire first section is then repeated. A more subdued waltz is then introduced in G major. Before a fleeting 8th note melodic phrase. A loud and short transition introduces the 4th waltz, which starts off in a romantic mood in F major, before a more joyous waltz in the same key. After another short transition, we hear the poignant melody of the fifth waltz. The second part of this fifth waltz is more aristocratic or majestic sounding, and it's punctuated by cymbal crashes. The work ends with a coda that recalls all earlier waltz themes and lasts almost 3 minutes. The Blue Danube is considered as the unofficial anthem of Austrian Republic, and no New Year's Day concert of the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra is complete without it. Now I recommend go ahead and create a playlist for yourselves with some of the most famous and most loved waltzes and polkas like the Emperor Waltz or Tales from the Vienna Woods and Voices of Spring and the Trick Track Polka. Don't forget to include selections from his operettas either, and let Johann Strauss the Younger lighten up your day. Hello, HitTheRoad cultural travelers. Thank you very much for joining me at another cultural journey. If you would like to follow our project, you could do so by going to HitTheRoad.world, and in a pop-up window you could put your email address and find out all about the musical theater tours, my documentary films, and also the podcasts, completely free of charge. If you would like to support our project, you could do so either through PayPal, or you could go to patreon.com and visit our page there. Just type in patreon.com and then in a window, in the search window, Hit the Road Cultural Journeys. Thank you very much for your interest, and until next time, stay well.